Well, good morning, everybody. We'd like to welcome you to the 2020 annual meeting of the Girl Scouts of Southeastern Michigan. Just so you know, the plan is to start the platform now so that people have an opportunity to log in and work their way through the platform. The actual meeting itself will start at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. You're all starting the meeting muted, and you will stay that way for the duration of the meeting. You'll be unmuted as you raise your hands, as we have practiced. We are just going to let people log in through from 8 to 8:30 or 9 to 9:30, depending on your time zone. And if you have a question, please raise your hand. Otherwise, we are just going to let people flow in and self-register so that we can get a good count to give Joe as the meeting gets closer. Thank you again for taking the time to attend the meeting, and we're looking forward to a nice, collegial, friendly, productive, efficient meeting. Morning, Telva. Hello, everybody, again. Welcome to the 2020 annual meeting of the Girl Scouts of Southeastern Michigan. We are just letting people register into the system and getting counts for quorums. The meeting is scheduled to start at 9:30 Eastern Daylight Time. You are all muted, but if you have any questions in the interim, please feel free to raise your hand. Thanks for your patience as we go through this process, and we are looking forward to having a wonderful meeting with you. Thank you for spending your time with us today. Peter Keating, you have your hand raised. I've got you unmuted.
Hey, John, is there a way that someone who is not a delegate can register and join the webinar?
Jay, are you at a point where we can issue any? Jay, are you at a point where you can issue any more invitations?
At this point, no. Anybody who is on the list that we were provided has been registered. But other than that, we were told we can't register any additional people.
Okay, because yeah, the only reason I asked, somebody thought they registered this morning, and that was kind of confusing to me.
Are they an alternate or a delegate or anything?
No, there's somebody who would just be attending because they're a potential board member, but they're not a delegate or an alternate.
If we get permission to register them and we get all their information, I can still register at this point real fast for them.
You just have to tell me what to do to send them a link. And then if you ask permission, do you need their email or what?
Yeah, I would need their email, their first name, and their last name.
Okay. So it's, I'll phonetically spell it. The email is Tango Mike Uniform Lima Lima India November at Charlie Baker Romeo Echo.com. And so the name would be Turika, Turkia Mullin, Mullin. She would not be a delegate or an alternate. She would be, you know, in the past when we were in a big room, anybody could come, but only the delegates and everybody could vote.
Right, she would be a guest. Good morning, Pete. This is Tova. Yes, I give permission to go ahead and register. I couldn't get off of mute earlier, so go ahead, Jay, please.
All right, now how did you spell her first name one last time? I have Turkia. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, I will go ahead and register her.
Okay, so
Denise,
you're gonna send her a link then?
I got you
Mhm.
unmuted.
Thank you, Pete. We have a lot of guests at this meeting, and so we were desperately, even up to like last night, Katrina was sending Jay new emails, and so this is great. I'm glad you took that action because, yeah, our intent was to have this meeting be open. And thank you, Talbot, for giving that last minute permission.
Yeah, I couldn't get off of mute. Thank you, Denise. Yes, I'm
Yeah,
pleased
thanks,
about it
guys.
too. Thanks, Pete.
She just dropped me a note like 5 minutes ago. Okay, great.
Okay, Pete, anything else?
No, I'm hands down now.
Terrific. Thank you. Rachel, I thought I saw you with your hand up, Rachel. No? Dion Gestunner, I see you with your hand up. I'm getting a note that say you can't be unmuted until you enter your PIN. You have to enter your PIN on your audio panel before you're going to be able to speak. So you'd go to your audio panel and there's going to be a PIN number on there, and you need to enter that PIN when you call in so that you can go ahead and participate in the meeting. Morgan Marshall, I see your hand raised. It is true with you as well. You need to enter your PIN in order to speak at the meeting. Oh, thank you. Rebecca Szymanski, I see you with your hand raised. I've got you unmuted.
Okay, is it only people who have a PIN or is it everybody?
No, only people who are trying to call in with their telephones.
Oh,
Everybody else is fine.
okay, all right,
Okay,
all right, thank you.
you're welcome. Rose Callahan, I see you with your hand raised. You are there you go.
Somehow I have entered in listen only mode. How do I get the screen showing the slides?
Listen only mode.
That's what it said when I joined. You have entered in listen only mode.
All attendees enter the GoToWebinar in listen only mode. It means that you're automatically muted when you join. The slides were taken off the screen so I could get to the GoToWebinar website to register that individual. They will be appearing shortly.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
You're welcome. Raven Gregory, I see you with your hand raised. I've got you unmuted.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can we help? Oh, okay. Can we help you with something, Raven?
Nope, I'm good. I just wanted to figure out what I needed to do, but I figured it out.
All right, I'm going to put your hand down, okay?
All right.
Okay, Deanna, I've got you unmuted. Can you say something so it make sure we can hear you?
Good morning.
Oh, beautiful. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you, Deanne. I'm going to put your hand down, okay?
Okay.
Nicole, I see you with your hand up, but I don't see any way for you to communicate right now. Are you connected via a computer or a telephone? If you're by a telephone, put your hand down. If you're by a computer, leave your hand up. Okay, I'll come back to you in a minute, Nicole. Crystal Renaud, I see you with your hand. Oh, it's down now. Nicole, I still don't see a microphone allowing you to speak at this moment. I'm sorry, Nicole, you have your hand raised. I've got you unmuted. Nicole Blades.
Yes. I have a girl delegate here with me who does not have a link to the webinar.
Jay, can you send a link to her?
I can. What is her name?
Megan Blades. MEGAN. She sent you an email just a little bit ago.
And what is she? Is she supposed to be registered as an alternate or?
No, she is a voting girl delegate.
Denise, you're unmuted.
Yes, every delegate has to have their own webinar in order to be able to vote. Does she have her own email?
She has an email. She did not receive the link for the webinar.
Jay can take care of that. He'll send that to you. Or send that to her.
Okay.
It doesn't look like I have her name on the delegate or alternate list that was submitted. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what to
Hey,
do in that situation.
Jay, this is Tova. She is on the list. I just validated. So,
What service unit?
Service unit 0503.
It's Nicole Blades.
That's me. My daughter, Megan Blades, is who we're talking about.
So the delegates for 503 are Lori Odell, Nicole Blades, and Megan Blades.
Lori is an alternate.
Denise, you're unmuted.
If we put Megan in instead of Lori, then Lori will not be voting because we only can have two.
Okay. Lori's an adult. Do you want a girl or an adult?
That's up to you guys. That's how you guys wanted to set it up for your service unit. We love to have girls. And if Lori's willing to step down and become an alternate, then I don't think any of us would argue with that.
Okay. I think she
Agreed.
wanted to listen in on the meeting, but.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Anybody can listen.
Okay.
So it's just right now we're trying to figure out who can vote. We can only have 2 delegates per service unit can vote, but alternates are in and they'll be able to just like guests, they'll be able to watch the video.
Okay. Yeah. Lori was expecting to watch.
Good.
And
We're all set then. Then let's get
vote.
Megan. Yeah, let's get Megan hooked up then.
Sure. What is Megan's email address?
mrblades01@gmail.com.
Perfect. I'll go ahead and get her registered.
Thank you.
Lori Odell, I see you with your hand raised. I got you unmuted.
Yes, I wanted to confirm that I am the alternate for our district, and it is Nicole and Megan who are our delegates. I'm just here to watch unless I'm needed.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you, Lori. Lori, I'm going to put your hand down now. Peter Keating, I see you with your hand raised. You're self-muted.
Yeah, I just sent Jay a note in chat with the email address of the guest. She hasn't got the confirmation link yet.
All right, I will work on sending her a personal email with the information as well.
Thank you.
Okay, this is Tell. I'm just giving a moment to make sure we're all set here, everyone. We'll get started shortly. Thank you for your patience. Connie DeFord.
Good morning, Telva.
Good morning. Okay, thank you.
I have been
Your
muted.
name.
I've been on, just muted.
Okay, fantastic.
But I'm here if you
Thank
need
you.
me.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. This is Talva Magruder. Welcome to the 2020 annual meeting of the Girl Scouts of Southeastern Michigan. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Hey, Jay, are you still working? Are we set to advance the slides?
I just finished sending the last email. We still need to do the credentials numbers, however.
Okay. All right. All right. Once again, everyone, thank you for your patience. We just have a couple of things that we're wrapping up here.
To confirm, if none of the delegates for a service unit have arrived, the alternate is to take one of their places. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, Rachel Kariakos. It looks like the delegates for 102 are not currently in attendance, so you are able to vote as a delegate.
Morning, Mia. You have a question?
Oh, I'm sorry. I pressed the wrong button.
Okay, thanks. No problem.
All right, I have sent the chat message.
Thank you. We need someone on mute right now that is not muted, that is listening to coronavirus information.
Got her.
Okay. There we go. Okay, once again, everyone, welcome to the 2020 annual meeting. This meeting has already been called to order. I appreciate you all coming. Let's start with the Girl Scout promise and law. John, please unmute, or no, I'm sorry. We're going to leave everyone on mute for the Girl Scout promise and the Girl Scout law, and trust that you will say it out loud in your home. On my honor, I will try to serve God and my country, to help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law. The Girl Scout law. Sorry, 1 second. Everyone, I'm having I will do my best to be honest and fair, friendly and helpful, considerate and caring, courageous and strong, and responsible for what I say and do, and to respect myself and others, respect authority, use resources wisely, make the world a better place, and be a sister to every Girl Scout. I'd like to move on to introductions, and we would normally be sitting at a dais, and I'm going to introduce everyone as if we were at the dais this morning. We have with us today Denise Dalrymple, our Chief Executive Officer, Cindy Carlton, Chair of our Board Development Committee, Sarah Pobosic, Chair of our Property Committee, Joe Robinson, our secretary, Kathy Weaver, our treasurer and chair of the finance committee, and Connie DeFord, our parliamentarian for our business today. With that, we will move on to the credentials report for our meeting. Will the secretary please provide the credentials report?
Joe, I got you unmuted.
Okay. Did you send me the notes?
I did via chat.
Okay. So I don't see it. I was waiting for it.
Can I give you
There-
the numbers orally?
Okay. Per the bylaws, the delegates are 90 representatives, 2 per service unit, 45 current. I'm sorry, hold on. My screen is doing something wonky here. One moment, technical difficulty. Okay. Per the bylaws, the delegates are 90 representatives, 2 per service unit of 45 current service units, members of the board of directors, of which there are now 19, past board chairs, which are currently 2, and members of the board development committee, of which there are now 4. Per our bylaws, the quorum for an annual meeting shall be 25% of the members of the corporation, provided the majority of the council's regions are represented by at least 1 delegate. Present at the meeting today, and that's what I don't see from you, Jay.
Okay, Joe, that first number would be 78.
Okay, so present today, at meeting today are 78 registered members of the corporation, and 37 districts are represented by delegates. Therefore, a quorum is present.
Okay, based on the representation of our membership and delegates, I declare that a quorum is present for today's annual meeting. The standing rules that were distributed in the council delegate workbook on page 5 were prepared for use in a face-to-face annual meeting. Different rules are necessary for this electronic meeting. The proposed standing rules for this meeting will be presented by Board Secretary Joe Robinson.
Give me 1 second, Joe. You are unmuted, Joe.
All voting delegates shall register and attend the 2020 annual meeting, excuse me, via GoToWebinar. All electronic devices, i.e. television, cell phones, and any additional computers shall be silenced during the annual meeting. In order to speak during the meeting, an attendee shall raise his or her hand. When called upon, the attendee shall provide delegate status and service unit number. Debate shall be limited to 3 minutes per speaker and 20 minutes for each debatable question. No member may speak more than once on the same question until all have spoken who wish to do so. Only delegates may vote during the annual meeting. Voting shall be conducted by delegates raising hands in the GoToWebinar. minutes for this meeting shall be referred to the Board of Directors for approval. I move that we adopt the new meeting rules as presented.
Since the motion is on behalf of the Board of Directors, no second is required. Is there any objection to the adoption of the rules as just read? If so, please raise your hand. As a reminder, only delegates may vote on this motion. There is an objection. So as a reminder, only delegates may vote on this motion. John, can you please lower all hands as we take a vote, as we prepare to take a vote?
Okay, I'm lowering all hands now. I see no hands raised. Oh, I see now
Thank
a
you.
hand raised.
Now let's lower all hands. So everyone, because there's been an objection to the rules as stated, we are going to take a vote. Those in favor of adopting the proposed standing rules, raise your hand.
I see 66 hands raised. 67.
Okay, thank
Up to 70.
you. Okay.
It's now up to 72.
Okay, thank you, John. Please lower all hands.
I am lowering all hands now, so you don't have to. All hands are lowered.
Thank you. Those opposed to the adoption of the proposed standing rules, raise your hand.
I see one hand raised.
There are 2/3 in the affirmative, and the standing rules are adopted. The meeting agenda is distributed in the Council Delegate Workbook on page 4. It was also prepared for a face-to-face annual meeting. Slight modifications are necessary for this meeting. On your agenda, please strike out the opening flag ceremony. Also, the standing rules are approved before the approval of the agenda, so those two items should be reversed. We will not be showing videos live today due to the meeting setup, so those items should be deleted. And finally, there will not be a closing flag ceremony, and that item should be deleted. Are there any further corrections? Please raise your hand if you see any further corrections or would like to speak to any further corrections.
I see no hands raised.
Thank you. Since there are no further corrections, the agenda is adopted as corrected. Okay. So good morning again, everyone. I'm going to share the board chair report at this time. I'd just like to start talking a bit about Girl Scouting, and the picture you see here is a picture of some young ladies that are very important to me, that are also go-getters, innovators, risk takers, and leaders. This is the troop, for those of you that were with us last year, that I talked about last year, that I led for many years until I joined the GSSEM Board of Directors. And this picture was taken last year, or I'm sorry, 2 years ago, at the award ceremony, where 2 of the 6 girls in this troop had just received their gold award, and the rest had received their award for graduating as Girl Scouts, which was a really exciting day. You know, these girls were together from the very beginning. 5 of the 6 of them were together since kindergarten as daisies, and had grown in Girl Scouts together over all of those years. My daughter was actually the latest to join them, who joined them from another troop when she changed schools in 4th grade. So they were all together for 8 to 12 years. And I'll say that growing up as a Girl Scout, it absolutely set a fantastic foundation for who I've become today. And I know it was extremely fulfilling for me, as it is for many of you leaders that are in the audience today, to watch girls grow up in Girl Scouting, and watch them become go-getters. Watch them. We have someone that's not on silent. Watch them become innovators and risk takers, and leaders. And to watch all of the girls help the 2 young ladies that received their gold award achieve that goal, which was absolutely fantastic. To listen to them in meetings as they were leading their own meetings in junior high school and high school, and when they would start their meeting planning at the beginning of the year, to be excited to talk about our community work first, before anything else, to see them help each other and to help others in areas not officially associated with Girl Scouting, to literally be committed to making the world a better place. It was really fulfilling to me. I am eternally grateful for being able to lead this fantastic group of young ladies who are now doing great things in various colleges and universities. So it's just a reminder to me that we're doing this for a reason, and that we're truly changing the lives of young ladies and creating a great future for our world. So here's to the Girl Scouts. Next slide, please. I'd like to share some information with you that I learned at our board chair and CEO conference, which was held last November. And it was a fantastic conference, extremely well attended as always, and extremely well run. And in the conference, we talked about many things, primarily centered around the vision for Girl Scouts, the future vision for Girl Scouts. The conference is put on by GSUSA, but it's put on in conjunction with the councils around the country. And so not only the host council, we were in Minneapolis-St. Paul, but also many other councils from around the country contribute to the agenda and to the actual activities during the conference. One of the biggest items that was reviewed with us at the board chair CEO conference last fall was the new 2020 to 2022 movement strategy, our new national strategy. And when you think about the national strategy, I'd like you all to think about this one, the 2020 to 2022 strategy, as an enhancement of the strategy that we've been working under over the last few years. That strategy has really benefited all girls and definitely GSSEM, and you'll hear more about the progress we've made in the future presentations that you're going to hear today. But this is the new movement strategy. And we as a council will be working to develop our council plans to match this strategy over the course of the rest of 2020. So I'd like to bring your attention to a few things. So there are 6 pillars to this strategy, as you can see on your screen. The first 2, reach and retain more girls and transform the volunteer experience, are critical to our number 1 priority, which is to increase membership. We believe and know that Girl Scouting is extremely important to the future of girls, and our goal is to bring Girl Scouting to as many girls as we can. That's true at our council, and it's true at a national level as well. So our top priority is membership of both girls and therefore volunteers. We need strong volunteers like those of you in this audience today to make the experience that we're committed to provide to the girls and in line with our mission. When you think about, sorry, go back one slide, Jay, real quick. Sorry. Thank you. Just one comment on the volunteer experience. So the volunteer experience is a key focus area for this strategy, recognizing that we've come a long way with things like volunteer toolkit and things of that nature. But being a volunteer for Girl Scouts is a major commitment, and it's important that we recognize how difficult sometimes that commitment can be, and that we take that and ease those challenges and make it a completely fulfilling experience at every aspect of being a volunteer. And so that's really what transforming the volunteer experience is about. From the moment you're thinking about onboarding as a volunteer, through your volunteer experience, all of your interactions with the council, the girls, and with understanding our national strategies will be easier in the future than they are today, stated simply. We have 4 other areas. Relevant brands, so we'll be focusing on branding. We'll be focusing on fund development, effective operations, and equity. And when it comes to branding, we'll be, at a national level, we'll be focusing on how do we accelerate our brand positioning. At a national level, we really, and I think you all have seen it, I would hope that you all have seen everything that's going on at a national level from a GSUSA perspective. And it's really focused on making clear who we are and what we're about. And in these times, that's extremely important. And so we have both the national GSUSA as well as many councils engaged in, how do we make our presence clear and vibrant, more clear and more vibrant than it has been in the past. So it's about acceleration. And then in fund development, we have a lot of big goals, and it's really, really important that we transform over time such that we are focusing on fund development with our vision of the future in mind. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Effective operations is important, and so alignment between GSUSA and our council continues to be important to us, and that will help us improve communications, transparency to all of you, as well as trust each other more so that we can have a stronger movement. Effective operations is a lot easier to say than to do. I'm proud to say that our council is run extremely well, and that we seek to learn from GSUSA, but also seek to ensure that the way we adopt those learnings is in line with what we need in Southeastern Michigan. And then equity is a key focus area of the new strategy. And it's not as if equity has not been a focus before. So what we're doing is focusing on ensuring that we are being thoughtful in everything we do, and that we are looking at reaching all of the girls in our council in a way that they are all having a great Girl Scout experience. And so, yes, we're looking at diversity, equity, and inclusion, and ensuring that that experience, that impact, is going to be the same for all of the girls that participate in Girl Scouting and GSSEM and GSUSA. Okay, next slide. All right, so let's talk a little bit about STEM. And so many of you have heard about the STEM Pledge. It's a national pledge. It's a really bold commitment. The commitment is to get 2.5 million girls in the STEM pipeline by 2025. We have 111 councils in the country, and so GSUSA's vision is to support all of those councils, as well as USA Girl Scouts overseas, with programs, training, and funding to recruit and engage 2.5 million girls in STEM. Now, what that means, if we talk about 2.5 million girls in the pipeline by 2025, that means if a girl is in the pipeline, she has had multiple STEM experiences over a period of at least 2 years. And the thought there is that, it's not just one STEM experience every once in a while. It's multiple experiences stacked such that a girl is really starting to understand the nature of STEM and starting to embrace it. Every girl isn't necessarily going to be a girl that's super passionate about STEM, but many girls don't know if they're passionate about it, so they're exposed. And so what we're talking about at a national level, and definitely at a council level, is exposing young ladies to experiences, exposing our Girl Scouts to experiences in STEM during their time in Girl Scouting. So multiple STEM experiences over 2 years. Next slide, I'll talk a bit about how. So we go to the next slide. So the concept that's been put together is that this growth in STEM happens in stages, and those stages in the context of the slides you're looking at now are defined by how is the council providing STEM experiences. And so you'll see that we're looking at this in terms of the council work in people, programs, and capital, and that there are 5 stages defined, A through E. The idea is when you're early in the STEM progress as a council, you're going to be in stage A. And so you're getting your staff trained, you're getting troop leaders recruited and trained, and some of those being very interested in STEM, of course. And then from a program perspective, you're creating local STEM programming, local STEM ecosystems that you can play off of to give girls great experiences. There are programs that are being built for STEM, programming for STEM, that's coming out of the national program portfolio. And so the expectation when you're early on is that you support those programs, creating those programs. And then stage B, which is where we are right now in GSSEM, is where we've moved on. We're continuing to do council staffing training and troop leader recruitment and training. And then we are hosting STEM events and things like that, support for STEM programs at the council. We are looking at STEM camps or things like STEM in a Box, which is bringing STEM to girls. And the one thing we have to think about now, though, is capital, because as you're offering programming and you're offering STEM camps and different STEM experiences, obviously the funding is needed to be able to do that. And so, you all know that in GSSEM we have many robotics teams, we have many STEM experiences, we have STEM badges that are available to the girls. We actively participate in STEM activities at Oakland University and with FIRST Robotics, even at the national championship. And so we are well into stage B right now as a council, and we're continuing to grow. The staff is doing really great in this area. And if you look on the stages B, C, D, and E, what you see is that we invest more. We're looking at maybe STEM mobile centers or STEM experience centers or whatever we choose to call it. Our staff has been doing great investigations into how we might want to grow here. And as a board, it's important that we are linked up closely with the staff and the vision, and that we're providing ideas, and extremely importantly, that we're helping to build the funding to grow in STEM. And so fund development is really important for that reason, but also for many others that enable us to have a well-run council. Okay, thanks, Jay. Next slide. So the other thing we talked about at the Board Chair CEO conference was where we're going as an organization in terms of what we're offering for programming. And so if you look at our badges today, you'll see that we have, and you know that we have really ramped up those STEM badges that I was just talking about. We've introduced entrepreneurship badges over the last few years. We continue with our outdoors and social skills badging. But what we really seek is balance. And people that know me well know that I care a lot about balance. And so I was pleased to see this. And so if you look out to 2023, we're going to seek balance in all of our programming. And so the girls will have, I'll say, what I would call ultimate agility and flexibility in the types of experiences they are exposed to. You know, they can choose, and that leaders can choose for and with them. So we'll seek to balance STEM, entrepreneurship, outdoors, and social skills in the programming offering in the future. Next slide. So some of you, I'm sure, have heard about our national convention that is scheduled to happen this year in Orlando. It's scheduled for October 21st to 25th, and it's a big deal. It only occurs on the triennium, and so there's limited opportunity to attend a national convention. And in the presentation, which you all will receive later, along with the videos, there's a link that you can go to get more information about the national convention. And so we'll talk later today, we'll take a vote on attendees to the national convention as delegates, but you can also attend the national convention as a guest. And so GSUSA currently still has the national convention on the calendar. We all know with what we're going through right now, many things are falling off of calendars. And it's a very difficult time in the country and in the world. And at this time, GSUSA is regularly reviewing the status of the virus and what's going on around us. They are extremely, extremely engaged in that, and are regularly reviewing whether we should continue to plan to have the national convention in October. At this time, it is still on. It is still on, and we are getting regular updates with that analysis and how they're looking at it. So if you are interested in attending as a guest, please go check out the GSUSA website for information. And if you do choose to register as a guest and alternate decisions are made, then everyone will be informed at that time. But at this time, we are still on. Next slide. And with the plan for the national convention, there's a lot going on. So on the previous slide, I said that the convention is the 21st through the 25th, but you'll see on this slide, we have dates from the 19th through the 26th. And just want to walk through that with you. So, you know, people will be traveling as early as Monday the 19th and traveling home, you know, as late as Monday the 26th. There will be a board chair CEO conference that occurs early in that week. And so that's when we'll come together again and follow up on some items that have been discussed through the year. And then The delegate sessions or the pre-national council sessions, delegate sessions will occur on Tuesday, as well as welcoming and reception for the delegates and opening of the national council session. And then the actual meeting, the national council session, is on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of that week. And then following that, there's the super exciting Girl Expo, which is being planned by girls for girls. And all I can say is, based on what we heard about from the girls at the Board Chair CEO conference, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. So it includes a Girl Expo and then public programming that occurs through the weekend. Okay. And I'd like to close by saying thank you to our fantastic CEO. And you'll hear from her later. This is going to be Denise's last annual meeting. She'll be retiring soon, a little over a month from now, about a month from now. And so this is my opportunity to thank her publicly for everything she's done over the last 11 years. Denise, you have truly, truly shown caring for the girls, for the volunteers, for your staff, and everything you do, your energy, 1,000% in all the time. We appreciate your vision. 11 years ago when you came in, it was a very difficult time for this council and for many other councils in the country. And there have been a lot of decisions that have had to be made. And what's really important is there needed to be a vision to bring us forward and to create the council that we have today, which is well unified, moving in a fantastic direction, and being led by a great staff. And so thank you for your leadership. Leadership is so many different things to so many different people, and I dare say that over the last 11 years you've been exuding that leadership, and it's manifested for different people in different ways. I appreciate you leading me as I've come on the board and as a new board chair, and I can speak for the board of directors and say that we are pleased to have you, to be able to support you. So with that, thank you. And I know you're going to have some words in a minute, so we're going to move on. And I'd like to say thank you to all of you, our adult and girl delegates, who ensure that the Girl Scouts do make the world a better place. I'd also like to thank all of our guests for attending today, and the board of directors. I appreciate your volunteerism and your service to GSSEM, and we're doing some great things all collectively together. All the girls, all the volunteers, our staff, and the board of directors. With that, I would like to pass the mic over to Kathy Weaver, who's going to give the finance report. Oh, sorry, can't do that yet. I have to entertain questions. Sorry, everyone. Are there any questions?
Telva, I've noticed that Rochelle Smith has had her hand up for a while.
She has. Rochelle, do you have a question? Oh, never mind. Okay.
I apologize. I didn't even notice I had my hand up. I'm sorry.
No problem. Please raise your hand if you have a question. Okay. Thanks, everyone. With no hands raised, we're going to pass to Kathy for the finance report. Kathy Weaver.
And Kathy, I have you unmuted.
Perfect. Thank you, Telva. I appreciate it. Good morning, everyone. I just hope everyone can hear me clearly. We've got a good connection this morning. My name is Kathy Weaver. I am the board treasurer and finance committee chair for Girl Scouts of Southeast Michigan. I wanted to start off by doing something very similar to what Telva just did, and personally thank the committee for finance. As you can see on your screen, starting at the left, we've got Candace Foreman, who is a board of directors member. She's the board vice chair as well as the audit committee chair. So Candace is very active and engagement on the board at various levels. Morgan Elliott Andehazy, who is the fund development chair and is also a board of directors member. Greg Christensen, who you'll get to know a little bit better later in the meeting, as he's been a community member and is up for vote as a board of directors member. If you start with Kathy Booth, Steve Langmeyer, Elaine Marcotte, and Anna Young, they are all community members that are giving up their time.
Kathy, your audio is coming in and out, I think. So you may need to go closer to your computer.
Thank you to Kathy, Steve, and Elaine, who
Kathy?
have all been on the finance committee since the group GSSC is serving committee. So is our volunteer. Just wanted to tell them thank you, appreciate so thank you very much. We can move to the next slide.
Kathy, we're having trouble hearing you. If you can hear me, are you able to call back in? I think you may be on your computer. Are you able to call back in on a telephone? Hey, John, that wasn't just me, right?
No,
we're not hearing Kathy right now.
That was not
okay.
just you.
Okay, got it. All right. Let's see. I'll try to send her a text really quickly. Hey, everyone,
I am calling back
patience.
in.
Okay.
Okay, I'm calling back.
Okay, let's just give Kathy a minute to do that because we do want to hear everything she has to say. And everyone, I'll just take this moment to say, you know, it's a really different, unique time for us right now. It's greatly appreciated that all of you have joined our virtual annual meeting. Our annual meeting is extremely important business, and it's a great time to learn about. So thank you for joining, and I hope you all are keeping yourselves healthy and safe. And physical isolation is important right now, but not social isolation. So encourage you to pursue not socially isolating. We'll get through this meeting. Hey, Kathy, are you back?
I've got you unmuted, Kathy.
Maybe not yet.
I'm here. Let's hope this works a little better.
So far, so good.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Kathy?
All right, can everyone hear me? This is Kathy.
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear me, Kathy?
Well, we have two Kathys on, I think.
Okay, Kathy Weaver.
Oh, no, here we go. Yes. Okay.
Okay, Kathy, can
How
you
are
hear
we
me?
doing?
Okay, you good? Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. Okay, so my apologies. As we said, technical difficulties. I've been doing this with work all week. WebEx tends to cut in and out, so my apologies. Where did we leave off?
You were finishing introductions of the Finance Committee.
Okay, perfect. So, I just wanted to again thank the entire committee for their time, their commitment, their dedication. As I was sharing, very active. We meet 11 out of the 12 months a year. The only month we do not meet is in the month of July. So if we can move to the next slide, please. Perfect. So when we get together every month, this is, if you look to the top of your slide, what we do on a monthly basis. We review the financial statements, cash flow forecasts, and investment position that is put together by the GSSEM CFO and her entire finance team. We ensure that we are meeting or exceeding all the financial control policies that are in place and are, of course, utilizing resources wisely. On an annual basis, every one of the financial control policies are reviewed, as well as all risk management policies. One of the duties that does fall to the committee is to meet with the insurance brokers to review all liability and property insurance programs. We also are engaged to meet with the external financial investment consultant 2 times per year. And we also meet with the external auditor in conjunction with the audit committee for all of our filings. Okay, so if we look back 10 years, which this is a slide everyone should be familiar with, we look at it every single year, but if going from January 1st, 2009, when the 4 councils of Metro Detroit, Fairwinds, Michigan Waterways, and Macomb Asakita were merged to create GSSEM, at that time, there was a total of 125 bank accounts, 15 pension and retirement plans. At that time, there was bad debt on the cookie program of $425,000. And there were only 2 weeks of operating reserve. Looking forward 10 years, as of January 1st, 2019, over the years, for some period of time, holding 15 bank or investment accounts, 1 pension and retirement plan, have only $39,000 of cookie program bad debt, which again is in thanks to the finance team that works under the CFO, as well as the operational team, and have 9.6 months of operating reserve. Okay, next slide, please. So where does our revenue come from? Our revenue, the largest part of the revenue comes from, if you look to the sky blue, and of course there is the legend at the bottom of your slide, 80% of that comes from product programming, which consists of the cookie and the fall program. 9%, which is the fuchsia and the hot pink, comes from public support. And public support is going to include individual contributions, corporate sponsorships, grants, foundation, and all of our fundraising events. 5% of the revenue comes from program fees, which is represented by the lime green color. That is the camp and council event fees and any advertising revenue. And the dark purple, which is 3%, represents merchandise sales. Those merchandise sales are from the council shops, the camp trading posts, and of course, any online orders. In the dark blue at 2% is investment revenue from the investments of the assets we have, both from foundations as well as the individual contributions. And then the 1%, the golden red, yellow color, is miscellaneous, and one of those things that it does is actually the cell phone tower rent at one of the camps, as well as some miscellaneous advertising revenue. Perfect, we can move to the next thing. So, cookie sale proceeds, given 80% of the revenue comes from cookie and fall product sales, we thought we'd just further break down where do we spend if we just use the $4 per box cost, and recognizing we have a couple specialty products that cost $5.50 a box, but if we use the $4 charge, where does that money go? If we start at the upper left-hand corner of your slide, your troop proceeds and rewards are $1.38 per box, which is what goes direct to the girls. Next, $1.25 is direct program support. So examples of this are the GEI support, things like Mall Frenzy, Money Smart Financial Workshops, any of the badge workshops. And Tiffany Griffin, who's the VP of Programs, will go into more detail about where that money is allocated later in today's presentation. We pay $1.03 to the bakery. Camping and properties represents 20 cents of every cookie box sale, which is for the support of Camp Playfair, Camp Hawthorne Hollow, and of course the service centers. We move then to the upper right-hand side of the slide. Management in general are 8 cents. We use only 5 cents of every box to fundraise, which when we look at metrics for other not-for-profits, that is an extremely low dollar contribution for the revenue return we get from the individuals, the corporates, and the foundations. And then if we think back to one of the prior slides when I talked about bad cookie program debt being down of only $39,000 as of January 1st, it averages about 1 cent a box. And as I said, I do want to give kudos to this Denise Miniletti and her CFO team in getting this balance so low. Years ago, when it was at that $425,000 number, and over the years as it was fluctuating between that and where we sit today, the average cost per box that went to dealing with bad cookie debt, those have been funds unpaid by troops, ranged between 5 cents and 3 cents. So their hard work has allowed anywhere from that additional 2 to 4 cents go back to direct program support to the girls. Okay. So that revenue, the utilization, where's that go? So we talked about 53% is for troop related programs. Management in general is at 7%, that lime green. 20% troop and camp operations, which you can see the great photo up on the right hand side of one of the new troop houses and the upgrades that was completed last year. We are then looking at the product program, 10%, which you can see product programming. I believe this, if my memory serves, was one of the International Crossing Days. The girls up there having a good time in the upper left. We also then have fundraising at 6%, and then our retail merchandise costs at dark blue with a 4% amount. So where are we at from an overall financial perspective as of September 30th, which is the end of the fiscal year for GSSEM? If you look compared to 2018, you will see total public support and revenue is similar, down a small amount. Operating expenses are up, and that is a result of the cash infusion to the investment and improvement for Camp Hawthorne Hollow and Playfair, specifically the activities building and all the improvements that we had talked about in great detail at last year's meeting. As a result of that, there was actually a loss in operations of $764,000, which is really reflective. It's just an accounting mechanism resulting from the sale of Camp Hawthorne Hollow. And more importantly, you'll see the change in net assets because that was a cash sale. So it was a direct cash infusion. It is really a movement of money around from a financial accounting perspective. So ultimately, the most important number being in the lower right-hand corner, change in net assets was a positive increase of $1.6 million. We can move to the next. Thank you. And then this gives you a look back over the last 4 years, from 2016 to 2019. You do see on the top, there's cash and investments has gone up and down a bit over the last few years. I just want to call your attention to 2017. The increase from 2016 was really the sale of the Clinton Township rear building and the sale of Camp Fairwinds. It went down last year, which those were off the books, but some of the camp investment And then of course it came up again at the end of 2019 from increase of the sale of Camp Metamora from, again, that cash I mentioned on the prior slide. Total assets, other assets, the increase from 2016 to 2019 is related to the additional value. So we did spend money. We actually have significantly greater assets as relates to the Playfair Shower House that was built, Camp Hawthorne Hollow Activities Building. So you can see the return and the judicious use of funds using resources wisely. It brings the total assets to just over $21 million. Current liabilities, which means there's nothing due outside of 12 months, up slightly, but that is just as a result of some of the payments that were made from the improvements. The thing to be extremely proud of and continue to be proud of is there are no long-term liabilities. So again, there's nothing due outside of 12 months. They're just the typical bills that are going to come in during the course of the year that we review and approve, which takes the net assets up to just over $20 million. And again, our month-end reserve well exceeds the GSS USA benchmark of 6 to 9 months, and that we're at 11.5. In today's day and age, with everything that's going on, we continue to be an extremely strong financial council from both a girl membership and a financial perspective. And the interesting thing I found and I always look to is the 1947 Girl Scout motto was "Be prepared." And with everything going on and the uncertainty in the economic climate, very proud that our council is extremely well prepared to be able to weather any potential financial impact from everything that's going on. And we're, of course, utilizing resources wisely. So I've spent the last bit of time talking, and I'm going to take an extended pause because I've learned when you're doing these, you need to pause longer than normal, and it may feel uncomfortable for everyone, but just to ensure we stay open for any questions.
See Rebecca Samansky with her hand up. Rebecca, you're unmuted.
Hi, I'm with District 0203 and I'm a leader. So you had stated that the troop proceeds and rewards were $1.38. Can you explain that when at the back end we look at it and we only see, 70 cents per box, and then if we give up rewards, we get another 6 cents, and if we hit our PGAs, then we get another increase?
Yes, thanks, Rebecca. So great question. So the $1.38 you have to keep in mind is the average across all troop sales. As you well know, depending on where you hit sale thresholds, those rewards and incentives increase. It also is reflective of the fact that the girls that sell more individual boxes are eligible for greater valued awards. So this is an averaging, and to your point, wouldn't be necessarily reflective of your individual troop numbers.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Anybody else with any questions? Raise your hand now.
Do we have any other questions?
I do not see any other hands raised.
Okay, thank you. All right, now I want to turn it over to Sarah Poposic, Chair of our Property Committee.
Sarah, I've got you unmuted.
All right, thank you very much. So I want to start off by showing you a picture of why we do what we do on the Property Committee. This is a picture of some girls enjoying our camp facilities, a girl climbing on our climbing wall, and a great picture of our pool at Camp Hawthorne Hollow. We have a gorgeous facility there, and here's a picture of some girls enjoying it. All right, so the property task team, and first off, I want to start out by thanking my team. I have a very dedicated task team who does a lot of work throughout the year. We don't meet on a regular basis, but we do meet 10 to 12 times per year and sporadically as the work requires. So we meet on average every other month, but then as we do things that relate to major capital projects or camp sales, we meet much more regularly than that. So the property task team is a standing committee of the board of directors. We're not required by the bylaws, but there's a lot of work to do, and so the board has created this team to do that work. We've been in existence since the council was created in 2009, and we've overseen the development of the long-range property plan in 2011 and the update that was done in 2017. We execute that long-range property plan through the oversight of major capital expenditures, and in particular the offices and camps, and through the sale of excess property, which has been a big focus of this committee over the last few years. We've also done a lot of work to clean up the titles of the properties that we own and the properties that we've had to sell. Because much of our property has been donated through the years, sometimes there are different clauses, or we have a lot of easements from our neighbors who have used our property at various different times that we've had to clean up as a team. Summary of where we are today. So we have sold Camp Metamora last year, which is what Kathy had mentioned in the increase in cash. I think she misspoke one time and said we sold Camp Hawthorne Hollow. That is not true. Camp Hawthorne Hollow is our workhorse camp where most of our girls are going to camp this every year. But we did sell Camp Metamora for cash, which has helped to improve the balance sheet of the council. And we are also in process of selling Camp Innisfree. So we are working with a buyer on selling that particular property, and that could happen as early as this year. That selling camps is an extremely long process. That camp has been idled and for sale for many, many years. So that would complete the sale of property as we see it today under our current long-range property plan. And we've used the funds that we've received to fund investments at Camp Hawthorne Hollow and at Camp Playfair, and as Kathy mentioned, to further improve the council financial position. So we've got some new construction, some major renovations, and some maintenance projects. I'll show you some pictures here. So this is the new STEM Center at Camp Hawthorne Hollow, the new activities building. We are working on coming up with a great name for the property, and you may see more information from the council on asking for suggestions on what we should be naming this great property. There's a picture of the inside of the building. It has 2 STEM classrooms inside and a STEM classroom outside, and will allow for girls to have all kinds of great activities and great projects going on. All right, this is a picture of the inside of the major renovation at Handy Hall, the dining facility at Camp Hawthorne Hollow, which is right across the driveway from where the new STEM facility is. We reoriented the building, put in better speaker systems so that you can hear better. There's a beautiful fireplace, and have rearranged how some of the hand washing and dining facilities work to allow for better interaction and better activities in this building. Here's some great pictures of all of the Girl Scout branding. It prior to this renovation didn't have a lot of Girl Scouts information, so we've added some good branding in there, and you can see the good audio system and lighting. So this is the great picture of Camp Playfair. We have the only Girl Scout camp on a Great Lake. So from this lookout, you can see Lake Huron, and it really is a beautiful view on this camp property. So at Playfair in the last year, we have updated the shower house. This included a lot of other renovations, including the septic field. But the shower house was really in bad shape, so we've completely redone this major investment. The next slide shows the inside of the shower house. It really is beautiful and a great facility to center around this camp. So this is a picture of Wrangler Lodge. at Camp Playfair, and we've done some major renovations to the inside of this facility. Next slide shows the beautiful kitchen remodel that was done to really make it better for our troops that are renting out this lodge. And the sleeping quarters there show you all the brand new mattresses that have been put in. We've also updated all the fireplaces in this camp as well as Hawthorne Hollow so that they're safer and a better aesthetic for the camp as well. All right, so here's a list of some of the major maintenance that was done in the last year. So we've replaced the front porch at White Lake Service Center. There's a picture of that later on. We've done 9 new roofs at Playfair on the A-frames and the clamshell pavilion, ropes course pavilion at Hawthorne Hollow and some of the troop houses. Also the one of the service centers. The 8 new fireplaces for 7 new Hawthorne Hollow troop houses and the Ranger House, new main water heater at the Port Huron Service Center, major masonry repairs at the service centers, and new flooring in 4 of the 8 troop houses at Hawthorne Hollow. New deck for the vehicle bridge at Playfair so that you can get across the ravine in a vehicle. And also, this is the new front at the White Lake Service Center. It looks much better and has some great Girl Scout branding on the front as well. And here's the Playfair A-frames that we have the new roofs on there. There's really great camping facilities up at Playfair. So some of the other major investments that we've made is to replace 2 tractors and all the attachments. We've replaced 2 passenger vans, added a small cargo van, replaced all of the mattresses, replaced the ADA ramps on 3 of the troop houses at Hawthorne Hollow. That's still in process. We've done a lot of preventative professional tree trimming and tree removal around our buildings to protect the roofs and also to allow better access to those buildings and as a good forestry procedure, and created 2 specialty cabins at Playfair, the Nature Center and the Science Center, which are shown on the next slide. So there's the Science Center that is up by Ringler Lodge at Playfair, Camp Playfair, and the Nature Center, which is over by the lakefront by the A-frames. So these are the new floors that are in Hawthorne Hollow cabins, and new countertops and kitchen updates are coming to some of those Hawthorne Hollow cabins as well. So this is one of the biggest issues that we have at our camp at Playfair. Playfair is a beautiful facility because of the lake, but the lake is actually starting to erode some of the land that we have there. So our committee is working with an engineering firm on what we can do to prevent some of that erosion. This is a problem all over the state with the rise in the Great Lakes. So we're working on a plan of what we can do, and then we'll be working to implement that to save the erosion that's at our facility. And then here are some pictures of our pirate ships because, well, they're just cool. So we have the big ship at Hawthorne Hollow is the SS Girl Scout, and then we have the little ship that's at Playfair. And a fun fact, if you go on Google Maps, you can actually see the little ship at Playfair from space on the Google Maps site. So we have some great play facilities that are at the camps that allow for imagination and fun, and that's what camp is really all about. So here's some great pictures of girls having fun at camp. I believe one is the freeze-in, there's the pool at Hawthorne Hollow, and just some girls having fun and doing some great activity. So that concludes my report. Are there any questions for me or for the team about our property and our camps?
I do not see any hand. Oh, there's a hand. Oh, and it went away.
Okay.
I see one hand raised, Lori Odell. Lori, I've got you on. You're self-muted now. Oh.
Hi. I was wondering about microwaves at camp. Are those being installed at all?
I don't know if we have installed a microwave at camp. I thought there was one in Ringler Lodge, but I could be mistaken. Would you like to see microwaves at camp?
Yeah, that'd be really great, especially at Hawthorne Hollow where more people take their girls.
Lori, that's a great idea. You're the first person that's asked that, and microwaves are not that expensive. So why don't we take that back to the property committee and see if they're willing to make that investment.
We can definitely look to do that in some of our kitchens.
And Sarah, I see Patricia Klein with her hand raised. Patricia, I've got you unmuted.
Hi, everyone. I wondered how well used are these two camps? Is there a percentage or, I mean, they look gorgeous and I hope that everybody knows they're there. Is that information available?
Yes, I don't have the utilization with me, but last year we actually saw a lot of increased usage of Hawthorne Hollow because of the way we restructured the camping terms. So, which we were planning to do again this year, where it was shorter times when the girls could come, but with the camp was available all summer. I don't know with the impact of the virus what we will be able to do this year. Because it's probably too early to say whether it'll be that. I mean, that's really an issue for the programming team, but it's probably too early to say whether we'll be able to do camp the way we have always done camp. But last year we did have a lot of increased usage at Hawthorne Hollow, and Playfair has been really well booked with troop camping. So we're excited to see that they are being used.
Okay.
Denise, did you want to comment on that question?
Yes, Tiffany Griffin is going to have she'll include those statistics as part of a report later on. So we'll have camp statistics.
Great, thank you, Denise.
I do not see any other hands raised.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. And with that, we will move on to our CEO report from Denise Dalrymple.